It was a gloomy winter evening, the time when daylight reluctantly gives way to the encroaching darkness. I had recently moved into a centuries-old mansion, an imposing structure that exuded an aura of history and mystery. The reason for my relocation was a pursuit of solitude and a break from the chaotic urban life. Little did I know that the peace I sought would soon be shattered by the spectral cries of a child that seemed to echo through the corridors of my new abode. The clock struck 8, and as I settled into the antique armchair by the fireplace, an eerie sensation gripped me. Faint cries, almost indiscernible, reached my ears. At first, I dismissed them as mere figments of my imagination, the byproduct of an overactive mind. However, the spectral calls persisted, each time growing more distinct and haunting. Unable to resist the mysterious allure, I decided to investigate the source of these otherworldly cries. The mansion, adorned with intricate moldings and ornate decorations, harbored secrets within its walls. The staircase, steeped in years of history, groaned beneath my weight as I ascended toward the attic, drawn by the ethereal wails that seemed to emanate from that obscure corner of the house. The attic door, with its rusty hinges, opened reluctantly, revealing a space frozen in time. Dust particles danced in the dim light that filtered through a solitary window. As I cautiously stepped inside, my eyes were drawn to an ancient music box nestled amid forgotten artifacts. It emitted a haunting melody, its delicate notes intertwining with the melancholic cries that had led me here. The music box, adorned with intricate carvings, seemed to tell a tale of its own. It bore witness to a tragedy that unfolded within the very walls of the mansion. The spectral child, its cries now harmonizing with the music box's tune, beckoned me to unravel the sinister connection that bound them together. As I examined the room, I discovered a series of faded photographs and a journal that chronicled the lives of the former inhabitants. It was a tale of sorrow, loss, and a child whose laughter had once filled the halls but was now replaced by the somber echoes of its untimely demise. The attic had become a sanctuary for memories, a realm where time had frozen to preserve the pain and anguish of the past. The music box, a relic of that bygone era, played on, weaving a tapestry of despair that enveloped me. Each note seemed to narrate the tragic events that had unfolded within these walls. The spectral child, once vibrant and full of life, became a poignant presence in my newfound home. Its cries served as a constant reminder of the unresolved sorrow that lingered, transcending the boundaries between the living and the departed. I couldn't escape the feeling that, in unearthing the music box, I had become an unwitting participant in a ghostly symphony, the notes of which resonated through the corridors of time. As I descended from the attic, leaving behind the haunted melodies and the specter of the child, the mansion felt different. The air was heavy with the weight of the past, and the once grand estate now bore the scars of a tragedy etched into its very foundation. The spectral cries lingered in my ears, a chilling reminder that some stories are destined to echo through the ages, transcending the boundaries of the living and the dead. It was a somber midnight hour when an unmarked package materialized on my doorstep, shrouded in an otherworldly aura. Intrigued and apprehensive, I cautiously opened the package to reveal a mysterious leather-bound book with an air of ancient wisdom and malevolence. The cover, adorned with cryptic symbols, hinted at a tome containing secrets that transcended the boundaries of the known. Drawn to the enigmatic pages, I found myself unable to resist the allure of forbidden knowledge that emanated from the book. As I delved into its contents, a world of esoteric tales unfolded before my eyes, each page revealing the hidden truths that mortals were never meant to comprehend. The stories within spoke of ancient rituals, cosmic entities, and realms beyond the veil of our reality. With each passing word, the boundaries of my perception began to warp. The room around me seemed to distort, shadows lengthening into grotesque figures that danced at the periphery of my vision. The air grew heavy with an otherworldly energy, and a pervasive sense of unease settled upon me as the stories from the forbidden book seeped into my consciousness. As the tales unfolded, so did the malevolent entities described within the pages. Shadowy figures, born from the darkest recesses of the forbidden knowledge, materialized in the corners of my perception. They were elusive, lurking just beyond the edge of sight, tormenting me with their insidious presence. The more I read, the more my reality twisted and contorted. It became a nightmarish landscape where the boundaries between fiction and reality blurred, and the characters from the forbidden tales bled into my existence. The shadowy figures, once confined to the pages, now manifested in the dimly lit corners of my room, their forms shifting and morphing as if mocking the fragility of human comprehension. Tormented by the horrors described in the book, I questioned the very fabric of my existence. Was I a mere puppet in a cosmic play, manipulated by forces beyond my understanding? The lines between sanity and madness blurred as the forbidden knowledge inscribed itself upon my consciousness, a malevolent tattoo etched into the very essence of my being. The room became a surreal battleground, a nexus between the written word and the tangible world. The shadowy figures, embodiments of the forbidden tales, whispered taunting secrets into my ears, their voices a cacophony of madness and despair. I grappled with the realization that the book was a conduit to realms beyond, and its words had become a gateway for entities that sought to torment and ensnare my soul. Desperation clawed at my sanity as I struggled to close the accursed tome. The pages resisted my attempts, as if the book itself reveled in the chaos it had unleashed. The malevolent entities, now fully manifested, circled me like vultures, feeding on the fear that permeated the air. In a final act of defiance, I managed to seal the book, banishing the shadowy figures back into the confines of its pages. The room, once a surreal battleground, returned to a semblance of normalcy, but the scars of the forbidden knowledge lingered. I was left to grapple with the haunting realization that some truths are better left undiscovered, and the pursuit of forbidden knowledge can lead one down a treacherous path where reality itself becomes a malleable and tormenting force. It was a dreary afternoon when I received the inheritance, an elegant pocket watch that had been passed down through generations in my family. Its silver casing gleamed with an air of antiquity, and the intricate engravings told a tale of craftsmanship from a bygone era. Little did I know that this seemingly harmless heirloom carried with it a curse that would unravel the fabric of my reality. From the moment the pocket watch came into my possession, its presence seemed to cast a shadow over my life. Its rhythmic ticking became a constant companion, echoing in the chambers of my mind with an unsettling precision. As night fell, the watch's influence seeped into my dreams, where the boundary between nightmares and reality began to blur. In the dreamscape, the ticking of the watch intensified, resonating like an ominous drumbeat counting down to an unknown event. The hands on the watch moved with an eerie deliberation, marking the passage of time in a realm that defied the laws of the waking world. Each tick seemed to draw me closer to an impending darkness, a malevolent force that lurked just beyond the edge of my subconscious. As the hands of the pocket watch continued their inexorable journey, I found myself trapped in a time loop of unspeakable horrors. The nightmares transcended the realm of mere imagination, manifesting as tangible experiences that replayed with a cruel fidelity. I became a captive audience to a macabre play, where the scenes of terror unfolded with an unrelenting cadence. In one iteration, I found myself wandering through a desolate landscape, the air thick with an oppressive dread. The sky above me was a canvas of swirling shadows, and the ground beneath my feet seemed to shift and undulate like a living entity. The ticking of the pocket watch echoed through the surreal landscape, a constant reminder that time was both my captor and tormentor. In another iteration, I stood before a decaying mansion, its walls adorned with faded portraits of long-forgotten ancestors. The air was heavy with the scent of decay, and the ticking of the watch reverberated through the empty halls. Each room held a different nightmare, a distorted reflection of my deepest fears and anxieties. The pocket watch became a malevolent conductor, orchestrating a symphony of terror that played out endlessly in the recesses of my subconscious. The boundary between the dreamscape and reality grew increasingly elusive, leaving me in a perpetual state of unease. I questioned the nature of my existence as the time loop became a suffocating reality, a nightmarish cycle from which there seemed to be no escape. Desperation took hold as I grappled with the relentless ticking and the horrors that unfolded with each passing moment. The pocket watch, once an heirloom of sentimental value, had become a harbinger of my torment. I sought answers in ancient texts and consulted experts in the occult, but the curse proved elusive, its origins shrouded in mystery. As the time loop persisted, I felt the tendrils of the curse tightening their grip on my sanity. The pocket watch, with its malevolent ticking, had become an instrument of my own personal hell, counting down to an unknown climax that loomed on the horizon. Trapped in a cycle of unspeakable horrors, I could only wonder if the curse of the pocket watch would be my eternal companion, a haunting legacy that transcended the boundaries of time itself.